Well, the rumors are true.
Because if the business is true?
I have bought a new camera. A complete purchase of the heart. I did not need to buy this. Yeah, I decided on a whim, mostly, to drop a bunch of money and pick up the Nikon ZF. I just want to preface this by saying that this isn't a completely technical review or discussion about the camera. I'm using exclusively manual lenses only on it so far, so I don't get to really speak about the autofocus performance or anything. I will say that the IBIS system in the camera, or VR, I think is what Nikon calls it, the vibration reduction, works really well and is really cool. And the focus confirmation with manual lenses works really, really awesome as well. That's probably like my favorite feature so far. I've only had it for about 2 weeks. I think, yeah, literally 2 weeks to the day, 2 Sundays ago. And I've been using it as like my daily documenting personal and street photography camera in that time. And man, I've really been loving it, I've got to say. Took it with me for a work trip, and I just bring it around wherever I can, wherever I feel appropriate to bring it. And I've paired it with this guy, the Leica Summilux 35mm 1.4 that my friend Joey has lent me. So shout out to you, bro, if you're watching. Bought it secondhand on a pretty good deal, to be honest. And came with a few cool accessories. I've got this cool hot shoe cover. And then I did have a soft shutter release button, but I lost it today. So that's awesome. Of course, came with the small rig hand grip, which I think is kind of an essential. I know that the grip is a big complaint about this camera, and I thought it'd be fine. Like, I own an Olympus OM1 and that has like no grip whatsoever, but this is different due to its weight and stuff. So initial impressions of the camera when I first got it, really heavy. that's probably the main thought I had, was it was quite heavy. Picking up this camera, the thing that stood out to me was how crazy well built it is. It weighs a shit ton, but that's because it's built like an absolute tank. This thing's made out of like brass. So I'm hoping if I keep this camera for like a couple years, like we'll see a bit of like patina happening. Patina. It is heavy. It kind of makes my neck a little sore if I have it around my neck, but like in my hand like this, it's not so bad. A couple things I'm enjoying about this bad boy is how the greens render. I think they're very natural, coming off of like my Fuji films. I don't know. The greens are just very vibrant and very rich. It's a very tactile experience using this thing, and I think it's friggin' sweet. Like, the dials feel really good. The exposure comp. I don't really use the exposure compensation dial too much because I do everything manually on every camera I use. So why did I really want this camera? I didn't need it. It was kind of like an impulse purchase. I really found myself missing full frame. And the experience you get with that, with lensing especially, the field of view, the compression, the depth of field you get. And it's like, it's not like I'm chasing the most like shallow depth of field I can possibly get, right? Because then I would just be saving up for a GFX or like a digital medium format camera. But I missed the characteristics of lenses that you get at the edges, which you lose with APS-C, obviously. And I wanted to maintain like a retro camera style experience, because then you get all like the tactile dials and you're not looking at your screen for settings. It's on the top of the camera, represented on the dials, and you know where you're at any given moment, and you can just be ready to shoot and go for your life. That's why I think retro cameras have a place, not because of the aesthetics. That's a factor, but just the way ergonomically how they work and how they're designed lends itself to being a very quick and reactive way of shooting. If you want that and you let it be that for you. So let's talk about the Summilux. Let's talk about this guy. Yeah, my first time using any Leica equipment ever, and Like, I've held Leica bodies before, but lenses I feel like is a different story. And what did I think of the Leica 35mm f1.4 Summilux? It's good. It's a good lens. Might not be for me due to its like price point, especially brand new. Good God. And at that price, it really doesn't perform as well as I would like it to, which is crazy to say probably. But let me say this first. It's a great lens. The images it renders is fantastic. The character it has, while maintaining sharp detail, especially in the center, is really, really fantastic. Wanted to show you guys some examples as well of its use in street photography, which I think this excels at. The manual focus experience in the focusing tab makes zone focusing awesome, and I'm glad that I got to really have that experience with this lens. I found that in the images they vignette wide open crazy, and I don't think that then the vignette doesn't go away until like even at 5.6 there's still a good amount of it left. When exposing for the raw files in this camera, I find that loss of highlight is very quick. Like there's not a lot of highlight recovery in the raw files, at least compared to like Fujifilm and Canon. When there's a big discrepancy in the corner and in the center, I struggle a little bit and I find it a little bit difficult to find the correct exposure. Also, a pretty decently big gripe I have is the aperture ring is just, you know what I'm saying? So like loose. Maybe it's just this copy specifically. I know it's an older copy. Maybe you forgot a CLA or something like that. I don't know. I have nothing really to compare it to, but yeah, I found that a little bit frustrating if I were to say be on the street and I was reaching for the focus tab and, you know, like skill issue, I get a bit clumsy and I knock the aperture ring, sorry, from 5.6 to f11. Like that, you can jump from there to there really easily. Yeah, I will be returning that lens soon, because now I have the Voidlander 35mm 1.4 Nocton single coated. Here it is mounted on the camera. Very handsome. This lens hood is really ugly though. I bought that lens literally yesterday, so I haven't had too long with it, but initial impressions, also really good. Definitely doesn't vignette as much, and the aperture ring actually feels way more like it feels like I'm gonna like knock that over way less. Punching in to detail shots, wide open, definitely not as sharp. It's a bit glowy. There's Loca here too in the Summilux, but that compared with the like sort of glowy, mushy look of the soft center image on details, yeah, not as pleasing to look at, in my opinion, but only when you're really looking quite closely, and that goes away when it's stopped down. But it's another just great lens with awesome characteristics, like the bokeh, the shape of the bokeh is really awesome. Looks a bit busy, sure, but I don't really mind that sort of thing. It's my first Nikon camera, so I haven't really had much experience working with Nikon in my workflow. And I think that's probably like the most interesting part of this camera, and the thing I expected the least was it's a camera that I have to put in the work so it works for me. I find that this camera, with the lenses I've paired with it, just the way it works, I really want to go out and use this thing as much as I can, which is really a great thing and what you want out of a creative tool. Hopefully there's more cool things on the way, cool things I get to experience. Hopefully I can film that for you. I'll definitely be taking photos. And yeah, see you in the next one. I don't know how to do this shit. He's lit in there. Yep. What the hell? Why does it sound like it came out? It's like coming out of my like old Nokia phone that I had when I was like 9. True. Bring. Hello.